What's up, everybody? Fearon here, and we are going to get right into this G3 Siege with a new guild this season. Joined Transcend, part of the 9 Bandits community, taking a look at their tower 10s, a couple of Heretids, a couple of Cadizes, just generally an LD tower. Decided to go into this Seara, Cadiz, Raoq. There's two ways that I typically think of handling this. You can either take a Garo Raoq match and race them, or I've seen a lot of these Nana revive comps, and I just pulled Nana a couple of weeks ago, so I've been testing around with this. I think I end up taking just a slightly wrong version of this. The comp that I've done in the past that's been successful has been Nana, Cian, and Perna. I take the Savannah here instead, and the general idea is you have 3 extra revives on the team. You hopefully get an AoE defense break with the Nana after they go, and then the Savannah revive damage between that and the Perna can help you chain into enough kills here. However, the Raoq goes crazy there, gets the turn reset, loses the defense break before the Savannah even dies, and they're pretty easily able to clean up the rest of this team. Yeah, I think I won't be using this exact setup again. Between the Perna getting killed quickly and targeted and the Savannah, there's just not really enough damage to get a kill early on. I think I'll either maybe test a little bit more with the Cian variant or try to race these towers in the future. All right, let's brush off that first loss. We're going to go into a second one of the LD tower here, trying to race these 10s for the start of the siege. We have Carcano, Betta, and Fermion. Taking a generic Poseidon cleave into this. Potentially could have taken the attack lead here. I'm not too worried about getting one shot or anything at the start here. Just hoping we land our defense breaks. Missing on the Betta really hurts here. We also end up missing the pushback on the Betta as well, so they get the immunity and the heal off. Hoping to just cycle a bit of turns here. The Fermion has a decent amount of damage. It can also taunt my teammates. Luckily, we get a couple of procs in the Galleon, but not really much damage output, you can see there. And we're going to get a revive from this Betta as well. The Carcano comes back up, but luckily he should be pretty easy for us to take down again. Thinking a little bit here, if I want to try and kill the Carcano or buff, I see that my Triana is going to move next. So I want the attack buff. We're going to then kill off this Carcano. We have the Poseidon is taunted, but you can finish off the Fermion. And then we should be able to 3v1 kill off this Betta before she can get another revive. And there we go. A little sketchy. We missed the defense break and the pushback on the important unit, but still ended up coming up with a win. My next hit, I forgot to record as I was going through it, so we're taking a look at the replay. It's another one of this LD tower with a Nephthys, Clara, and a Lydia. We take in double water bomber Fran. The idea here is that none of these units are that tanky. We should just be able to get at least one of our attack buff bombers off into this team. Clara into the double water. It's not super likely that you're going to stun both of them, and I really only need one of those bombers to go off in order to win this attack. So there we go. Next, we have one more of this LE tower. We did all these attacks pretty quickly. We have a more Zeratu and Savannah. So we take a Leo Ethna comp in here and a Jean for the res lead and the light tank for the Zeratu. We proc the more passive so that we can potentially AoE him and also get him the full attack bar when he already has it. Zeratu goes first and gets the attack buff up, and we'll strip him with the Ethna and almost end up killing him. And from here on out, this is pretty staple with what you'll see with like a Leo Jean comp. Getting the CC off and just being able to kill the secondary threat, since Savannah here is not going to do very much damage. The important thing to being successful with these teams is all 3 of these units are ruined 0 speed. So this is an Ethna that I have built specifically to go with a Leo on both like pretty high damage and tanky build, as well as the Jean as well, being very slow but very tanky, and having reduced damage artifacts to tank the Savannah and the Zeratu. Easy cleanup. Unfortunately, game crashed on that, but the important thing is we got our LD tower hits in very quick. Next, we have a Molong, Savannah, and Woosa comp. We've been seeing this a lot more recently. I'm taking in what I think to be like my best counter, which is a double ignore damage team with a Bastet, Covenant, and Odin. The idea here is I like to snipe the Woosa first, since he has the most potential to proc and really protect the rest of the team. We dismount the Savannah to stop the defense break, the pushback. We're okay with him proccing and killing our Bastet. It's actually just giving our Odin stacks. Gonna hit the Molong once, just because the Covenant is not gonna hit very hard into the Savannah, finish off the Savannah, and we now have 5 stacks to do one big hit to finish off this Molong. Nice and easy. So we have another one that I forgot to record in the moment, so we're taking a look at the replay. Just your basic cheater Lucian comp. We have a Mirene Tion Lucian with just a fat Lucian. Pretty safe here. Should be able to kill both the Chilling and the Triana with the first round of Lucian. We actually, I think, got either 1 or 2 crits on the Carcano as well, so super easy just to finish that off. So next we are waiting on this Theomars, Molly, and Taranys tower to come up. This is a little bit different than what we normally see, but pretty interesting comp. Has some variability with the Theomars and the targeting, and then the Molly and the Taranys to make it annoying and live for a long time. We're going to take my LD abuser comp into this, which is Seara, Iris, and the Light Monkey King. The idea is we're just going to look to control the entire team while using bombs to basically preempt violent procs as much as we can. Prioritizing on killing the Theomars as much as possible, as fast as possible, because he has the most damage, but we end up getting a bomb resist. The Molly procs into cleansing the Theomars, but it's not that high of damage. We'll strip the Soul Revive or Soul Protect buff and just go into a CC chain on this, put a bomb up on the Theomars, tank a little bit of damage, and continue to control with the Light Monkey. For those of you who don't know, the Light Monkey King, he has the AoE stun on his skill 2, which cycles, and then his skill 3 does a slow debuff and a sleep, and then he depletes turn meter by 50% for each one of those that he lands. So if he lands both of his debuffs, it's also a full turn meter depletion. Iris can go ahead and strip that endure buff from the Theomars, and we got the hard part out of this out of the way. Because it has the Taranys, we might still see some amount of revives going out, but with the Theomars dead and everyone kind of being at full health, we're able to control this down and hopefully kill this Taranys before he can get any more revives off. So goes with the first live, the passive comes up, and we can silence him with the Iris and finish him off with a bomb. Very simple, very OP comp. Next, we're going into, I went really fast into this to get a tag on one of the inner towers on red side. It's another Carcano and Chilling and Triana. We take in Windy Lulu Tractor. This is a pretty safe comp. The only risk here is if they have a really high damage Chilling and it gets a lot of procs. You're a little bit limited in how much you can heal with the Lulu, because whenever you buff immunity, whenever you buff with the Windy, you're going to get those buffs stolen by the Chilling, which will end up doing a lot more damage back onto the team. So we're looking to either buff with the Windy or the Lulu when we either get a stun off or when we know the AI is going to have the buff up next on the Chilling, and we get a mid-hit pause here just to let my teammates know that we secured the tag and they don't have to try and double tag it. I killed the Chilling first just because, again, that strip is the biggest risk to this team dying. Once we get that down, we could probably go ahead and auto this if we wanted to, but we're just going to hit all our skill 1s on the Carcano. It's a pretty squishy Carcano, but killing the Chilling first so that we have that strip out of the way, so we can then have both our 2 units that cannot be defense broken, and then have safety in putting up immunity on our Lulu so that the Lulu won't be the one that dies. So we kill the Carcano, and now we're just going to hit auto and wait for this Triana to die. But yeah, I'd say this Lulu Windy Tractor is like 80% into this team. It does scare me a little bit, especially if this team is like a frontline defense. But a lot of my friends use this to pretty high success rate, especially if you have good additional damage artifacts to kill that, to kill the Chilling as fast as possible. That's the biggest risk. And there we go. 7 wins in a row coming back from that first loss. Next, we have an MST coming up, and another new pick for me is I just pulled Molly about a week ago. So we're running the Water Twins and a Light Tank. The idea here is, since we have double water, the Twins will be always focused on the Molly, who can sustain herself pretty well. We're going to kill the Shaina first because the AoE defense break into a retarget is probably the only chance we have of this dying. And the Shaina goes down, and from here we're pretty safe. If there's a high damage Triana, which you can see she's chunking my Twins for like a quarter to a third of their health, we could have some risk in that, but between the glancing debuff from the Molly and the heals every turn, we should be safe to go out from here. Just finish off killing the Martina, and then 3v1. No chance that this Triana can pull out a win, and we'll see our 8th win coming back again from that first loss. And just finishing off the Triana, actual land defense break, and there we go. And going into our last hit again, went really quickly into this one. We have a Carcano, Clara, Savannah. This is a pretty old meta comp. We don't see this as much anymore. I had already used my only gene, which I would rather have over the Raoq on this spot, but basically what we did is took a typical Villainous Leo counter for this, and I just threw in another fire DPS unit. The idea is that if someone does get RNG'd down, then we have 2 pretty big fire damage units that are capable of souling this. The Leo does die first, which is unfortunate because now we're losing that speed check on everyone else, but as you can see, all the dots from the 2 fire units is enough for me to clean up. And there we go. We ended up off the siege 9-1. Tragic way to start, but great way to end, and I will see you all in the next one.